Hey guys, how are we doing? Crypto Insight UK here, bringing you back another video. So obviously today is rate cuts day. As to what is exactly going to happen, I really don't know. And like we're looking at Bitcoin here, it's been slowly grinding up since its lows at around $107,000. And I'm going to just tell you a bit of like macro or like overlooking news, and then we're going to discuss what I'm doing around rate cuts based on the fact that I don't really know what's going to happen. So to start with, I want to show you this chart. When the Fed cuts rates within 2% of stock market all-time high, the S&P has gone on to finish higher over the next 12 months, 20 out of 20 times. And this is the chart below. You can see that, and I've shared that over there on X if you want to go and look at it yourself. It's 50% whether it will be higher or not in the next month, 77% over the next 3 months, 72 over 6, and 100% over the space of a year. So obviously that's pretty positive when you take a zoomed out perspective. I feel like everyone's so honed in and focused on rate cuts. But realistically, with that, there comes a lot of emotion. And I think there is a lot of emotion in the markets right now. I think there's like decent amount of leverage in the market too. And then we've seen this 2 billion of stable coins poured into Binance right before FOMC. So that's now. So what I think is going to happen is the market's going to get pushed around. I think it's going to be pushed around to try and move people out of positions. Exactly what happens next, as I said, I am not sure. So what am I doing with that being said? I also do think there has been quite a lot of like bullish news recently. The US and UK to announce crypto cooperation deal. There's been Tether minted. Actually, go and check out I wrote an article about esports as well if you guys are interested in that, the future of esports and tokenization. Spain's largest bank, Santander, launched crypto trading for retail clients. Google have partnered with Coinbase for an AI payments protocol. Like, there's a lot of really positive stuff coming out news-wise, and we're really super focused on this this event coming up. And yes, it's a big event. It'll be the first time, obviously, since Trump's presidency that they will potentially be cutting rates. Obviously, Powell cut 50 bips at the end of Biden's presidency, probably to try and keep Biden in a job. I think that was a pretty political move. We can get into that discussion at a different time. I just want to keep this video quite short and let you know basically what I'm doing. So looking at Bitcoin, ETH, and even XRP, like we're up off our lows, that's ETH. We're up off our lows as XRP. But we're not really making a decision one way or another. It's kind of everyone's in the same boat. I think you can feel like angst out there. I can see the argument for both ways, but long term or medium term, I think we go up. Short term, I'm really not sure. And so what do you do in a position where you're not sure? Well, the answer is like not a lot. I'm still in my Doge long, as you guys know. We got in about 22.5 cents, 22.7, I think, somewhere around like this sort of area here where my mouse is. And we're up pretty well so far. We discussed on X when we came down to this area here. Let me just show you where we got like to this area here. And what I was saying over on X is, right, it's a good pullback. We've seen decent volume. We've had a little bit of a bounce. But what I would like to see, and we said it over on YouTube actually, we said it on this channel if you guys remember, I'd like to see a bullish divergence come in where the RSI makes a higher low and price makes a slightly lower low, and we sweep the liquidity here. Now, if we play to see what actually happens next, we chop around at this level, RSI starts to come up, we come down any second now, boom, we wick that liquidity, and then now look, we're sitting pretty much in the chopping area, but still looking averagely bullish. So this is kind of what I feel like across the board. There's nothing to say that that was a flush big enough to take us. We could come down and have a secondary flush if FOMC opens as always, good morning, and the red candle comes out as the meme is. So what am I doing? Well, I'm sitting in my Doge position, low leverage, long, sitting at, we got in at 22.5, called it on the newsletter multiple times, and that was over weekly periods. We called it for about 4 or 5 weeks and called it multiple times on here. Obviously, we're still 95% plus XRP. And then secondary bags is Flare. But I have taken a bid on FXS, which we covered in the newsletter again this week. I've bid at about 245. Now, 245 is quite a significant drop from where we are. Uh, 245. This is my bid around here. Why have I bid that area? Well, you'd have seen Cred talking about it as well. He brought my attention to this token. Makes a lot of sense. And if you look at it, I'm going to show you it on a zoomed out perspective in a minute. It's still quite a drop, as I said. It's about a 7% drop from here. Look, this could happen pretty quickly if we start to get like a drop. You sweep this liquidity on this level. I'll show you. You sweep that liquidity on this low, which pushes you into the liquidity here, and then we sweep this bottom liquidity to bring us in at about 445. Could go a little bit lower, but get our bids filled, and then there is support potentially around like the 445. I meant 245. There's support at the 240 level, and there is even some at 244. So 245 is the entry. I'm going to take profit around here, like at the highs, 416. But as we start to push, if we get the fill and if we start to move bullish, obviously there's debate that you could come down and sweep the lows at 170. But if we start to get if we get that filled and we start to reverse bullish, I'll probably trail my stop loss, because there's also then the discussion of, does it go towards the 534 mark? As you start to sweep this high, can you then move on to the next? And then quite quickly the next, and then you're looking at potentially a full-on reversal to the upside. And from the lows, that's like a pretty solid move if you can get anywhere near the highs. It's a fantastic risk to reward on the token, like even to all-time highs, like 15x. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying that, like, when there's tokens like this, there is potential for things like that can happen. So that's basically what I'm looking for. So that's why I've got that bid in. If we come out on the FOMC and we're bullish, and we're bearish, like initially, then I think it's time to bid. Like, there's discussion of Bitcoin doing some sort of structures like this, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's get rid of these. There's some discussion of Bitcoin move into like 113 sort of area, and I can see why. Like, if you look at even this sort of setup, 112, 112.5, like where these candles like come in here, we've got you could say that this is a fair value gap here. Like, I can make a lot of argument and discussion as to why we could pull back into these areas. If you are going to do that, you do often wick the liquidity above first, so you might get like this and then come there and then go. People are saying, like Ansem specifically saying, look, if we do that, then this is the top, and then we're going to go down. That's it. I can see the logic in the discussion, but I don't agree. I just don't think we're top sentiment wise. I think that although equities are at all-time highs, I think they've got probably a little way to go. We've just shown you that 100% of the time equities continue higher over the year when the rate cuts are at this point. Gold is obviously at all-time highs, but pulling back a bit today. I've covered that over on X, saying that on the 4-hour we're seeing some bearish divergences. I've talked about yesterday the gold correlation to Bitcoin price and potentially Bitcoin dominance. So look, we've made 3 higher highs. Some might say it's a 3 drive and 3 lower highs on the RSI. Waiting to see if that pulls back and what correlation that has with crypto. At the minute, yesterday was drawing the comparison between gold lows and Bitcoin lows. Like I'm up in the air. I'm up in the air. Like, I haven't got anything revolutionary to tell you guys. I want you guys to don't get chopped out of positions here. I think there's going to be people manipulating the market heavily. $2 billion going into Binance and stables is a warning flag for me. Are they going to try and push the price up before they bring it down? And they're going to push it down? Or are people just going to buy heavy spot, aggressively take positions and things? I don't know. So that's why I'm positioned as I am. With the Doge long, we've got spot bags, we've got bids in. Pretty much every scenario is covered, and we don't have to do anything. And that's the way I'm playing. That's the way I'm playing it. Let's come out. Let's see what Jerome Powell's doing. Let's pass this really like angsty phase in the markets. There's so much angst and uncertainty and fear and anger that I really don't think we're anywhere near a top. It doesn't feel like that at all. I feel very frustrated, and that is probably a sentiment that is resonated by a lot of crypto in the people in the crypto community right now. So if you're feeling like that, fair enough. Turn your laptop off. It's 2:30 Eastern when the talk comes in with Jerome Powell, the FOMC. I'm presuming they cut rates, obviously. There's like a 90% chance they cut by 0.25, and like a 9% chance they cut by 0.5. So let's see. I'm going to leave this video there. I've shown you and I've told you exactly what I'm doing. Don't over leverage. Don't get chopped up too much. Put some limits in if you want to. If you are long, like if you're long, like with a longer term perspective. If you get them filled, then great. If not, and you've been following along, then we're in positions anyway. It's not really anything to worry about. And that's essentially all I want to discuss. The last thing I'll touch on is the DXY. The DXY has been dropping recently. We are double tapping pretty much the lows now. Whether we have a bounce here or not, again, it's a discussion like almost for another day. Today is the day we just watch the Fed. Don't try and make any specific calls because who knows what they're going to come out and say. I would say they're politically incentivized, and they have been for a while. So, but they're also in a difficult position. I'm not going to say they're not. Like they've put themselves in this position. I think they should have been cutting months ago. But now they've got inflation at 2.8% and massive decrease in jobs coming through. If I was in their position, I'd be cutting really aggressively. I'd stimulate the economy to the absolute moon. Yeah, obviously, that'd be good for me too, so maybe some personal bias. Because I think AI is going to be deflationary, and you want to run as hard as you can in the short term, in my opinion. Yeah, inflation won't be good, but maybe try and counteract that with your economy by somehow getting people involved in the equities markets, maybe making them move savings or doing something along those lines. I don't know exactly what the solution would be there, but I think running the market hot is the best thing to do when you potentially are moving into a time of technological breakthrough that could really change the way that we look at finance generally. So that's the way I play it. I think every move is going to be frowned upon. So let's see. He might come out and just say, fuck you to Trump and not cut rates at all. I don't think that will happen, but he could. Because I think he'd bury his legacy if he did that. Anyway, leave this video here. You know what I'm doing now. If you want to follow along or take any trades, obviously it's not financial advice, but you can find the link to MEXC and WEX in the description below. Go and have a look at those sites if you don't already have an account there. If you want to read my newsletter and check out the esports article that I wrote yesterday, I'd really appreciate that. I talked about the potential intersection of blockchain and esports in the future. If you enjoyed the video, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share it with a friend. A lot of you watch this but don't subscribe. I'd appreciate it if you did. And basically, if you've got any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Peace up, A-Town down, as Crypto Insight UK would say.